3, 2, 1.
Game on!
Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 to 21 says, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Now before the break, I asked us two questions. What's your hidden treasure that makes your love for sport so great? And what are the worst misconceptions people often have of your sport? Now we heard some great answers there. That hidden treasure being that great feeling when you hit that forehand down the line, or when you score that goal, or whatever it is, that great feeling you get when you just do it just right. And that's something that is hard to describe to people who haven't experienced it. Now the worst misconceptions we sometimes hear of our sport might be, isn't that a bit violent? Or, you're a girl, should you be playing that sport? Isn't that a boy's sport? Or, golf's just for old people, isn't it? Things like that. It's frustrating when people get our sport wrong. Now, in this next clip, we'll see a group that certainly do get sport wrong. So let's watch this.
I don't know anything about cricket.
There's no real crickets in it.
The bat is called a wicket.
The wicket's the ball, I believe.
When I think about cricket, I think about the outfits that they're wearing, shorts and like a jacket or something. It seems very proper.
So I guess there's a lot of different accessories for your cricket outfit. The entire time that we have been talking about cricket, I've been envisioning croquet. It's like squash had a baby with baseball.
So green is Pakistan, blue is India.
There's someone wearing blue, there's someone wearing red, and there's someone wearing black, and I think only two teams are playing.
There's a cowboy on the field.
Is that a Mountie?
That must be the ref.
He looks like a Canadian Mountie.
He's definitely not called an umpire, I know that.
Home run! I think.
What are the bars in the middle?
That's a sign.
Brilliant.
That's a sign. Something, this means something.
I'm not really sure where the bases are. Still have no clue how they acquire points.
But it's like there are no outfielders. So maybe the goal is not to like catch the ball.
He's trying to hit the ball along the ground. Well, then why were they so excited before when they went far away?
I have no idea what's going on here. This is very confusing.
Where are they trying to get the ball? It feels like it can go anywhere.
He said that was a lovely shot. It rolled towards like a line that looked like a warning track in baseball.
I know less now about cricket than I knew before we watched it.
I think it looks dope.
I don't even know how many rounds there are. Like how many points?
Rounds?
Win?
We didn't even know what
I'm
they were
definitely
doing.
not gonna like look out for it on ESPN.
Like any sport with cowboys could probably easily become second nature to me eventually.
Now, having watched that, I'm sure you'll agree that we follow our sport not because of what the world judges it to be about, but because we experience a love for it in spite of these misconceptions. If you're anything like me at all, you'll end up defending your sport to people about why it's so great, or why you just spend so much time following it or watching it or playing it. You end up defending it to people who don't spend so much time playing it or watching it because they just don't get it. It's frustrating. But let's be honest, sport is often marred with allegations of cheating, corruption, excessive pay for those at the top, and excessive charges from other people to watch them. No one is going to be persuaded to get into a sport on the basis of these things that are at the top. In fact, many are put off by them. But we all know that the heart of sport isn't the money-soaked, celebrity-obsessed stuff at the top, but the grassroots human connection that makes us love playing and watching sport so much, that amateur spirit. And this is what I'm talking about today, the amateur spirit. Because sport is made for amateurs, just like us. Now, let's remember, of course, that amateurs don't always get it right, as this next clip shows us. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. So for the good, the bad and the ugly, the amateur spirit is what makes sport what it is. Now then, amateur comes from the French for a lover of. Right there is the heart of amateur sport, a love of the game, a connection with our inner self which is pure and simple and beautiful. If you love sport, you know what I mean. If you don't, you might not. Now, when this pure, simple, beautiful heart of the game gets lost, sports changes for the worse. Now, it's quiz time. What do these all have in common? You ready? Bjorn Borg in 1983, Michael Jordan in 1993, a section of Manchester United fans in 2005, and footballer David Bentley in 2014. I'll give you 1 minute to come up with an answer. Now the answer is that all four of these people, or groups of people, they stopped playing or watching the sport they loved early when the spirit of it was lost for them. Now David Bentley, who of course started playing at Arsenal, went on to play for Birmingham City, Tottenham and Blackburn amongst others, he said, "My love for the game went, and I didn't want to carry on just with the fact of paying me money. The game has changed a lot. When I first started playing, it was more about enjoying it. Now it's a little bit robotic with social media and the money that has come into the game. I hate to say it, but it's made it boring. It's made it predictable and a bit too calculated. The further and better I got, the more I disliked it." When money and external success mean that those at the top lose touch with the amateur spirit, that simple love of the game, then the shine of sport's hidden treasure diminishes, and people on the outside get the wrong idea. Hopefully this will all seem a long way from the hidden treasure that we talked about earlier, that amazing feeling when you just nail it just right. You whip in that cross right onto the centre forward's head, or you hit a lovely forehand down the line, or you nail that tee shot. Whatever it is, that hidden treasure that makes us coming back every week to play or to watch our sport. That's the fire that makes us love it. And this contrast of the empty nonsense at the top and the passion of amateur grassroots is the central theme of what I'm talking about today. Because just as we might plead with people not to judge our sport on the basis of those the media love to show losing their way, when we consider the Christian faith, we need to consider that the same thing might be happening. As a Christian, I despair because people looking in often get wildly the wrong idea. They just don't get it. They're put off by a warped image of what's at the top, and they miss the true amateur spirit of Christianity. That's based on a passion and a love comparable to, yet far, far greater than the passion and love we might experience for sport. Let's return to the words of Jesus in Matthew chapter 6. Do not store up for yourself treasures on earth where moths and vermin destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourself treasures in heaven where moths and vermin do not destroy and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So then, with that in mind, what does it mean to be an amateur Christian? The heart of the faith in God that Jesus is inviting us all to have is not about treasuring external success, that worldly treasure, the success and wealth that the whole world, sadly including sport and faith at times, seem to be sometimes seeking. Instead, it's about valuing hidden, heavenly treasure, something that can't be destroyed by the world, that is not seen but is of far greater worth. The Bible tells us that while people look on the outward appearance, God looks at the heart. And that is what Jesus is talking about when he's talking about the heavenly treasure, that hidden thing of great worth which cannot be destroyed, against what is fleeting, against what is seen and often is given more attention by people, but is ultimately will not last forever. So what is this heavenly treasure that we're told to seek after? So much could be said about this, but at the heart of the answer is a simple yet completely life-changing relationship with God through his Son, Jesus Christ. This relationship, unlike anything else in the universe, will never change, never let you down, even if our relationship with other people or things, even I'm going to say it, even sport, that can change and it can let us down. The Bible calls Jesus the author and perfecter of faith. In having him as our king, yet our closest friend, we find the true heart, the pure amateur spirit of religion, philosophy, and all questions about the meaning of life.
The Bible says, my king is the king of the Jews. He's a king of Israel. He's a king of righteousness. He's the king of the ages. He's the king of heaven. He's the king of glory. He's the king of kings. And he's the Lord of lords. That's my king. I wonder, do you know him? My king is a sovereign king. No means of measure can define his limitless love. He's enduringly strong. He's entirely sincere. He's eternally steadfast. He's immortally graceful. He's imperially powerful. He's impartially merciful. Do you know him? He's the greatest phenomenon that has ever crossed the horizon of this world. He's God's Son. He's a sinner's Savior. He's the centerpiece of civilization. He's unparalleled. He's unprecedented. He is the loftiest idea in literature. He's the highest personality in philosophy. He's the fundamental doctrine of true theology. He's the only one qualified to be an all-sufficient Savior. I wonder if you know him today. He supplies strength for the weak. He's available for the tempted and the tried. He sympathizes and he saves. He strengthens and sustains. He guards and he guides. He heals the sick. He cleanses the lepers. He forgives sinners. He discharges debtors. He delivers the captive. He defends the feeble. He blesses the young. He serves the unfortunate. He regards the aged. He rewards the diligent. And he beautifies the meek. I wonder if you know him. He's the key to knowledge. He's the wellspring of wisdom. He's the doorway of deliverance. He's the pathway of peace. He's the roadway of righteousness. He's the highway of holiness. He's the gateway of glory. Do you know him? Well, his life is matchless. His goodness is limitless. His mercy is everlasting. His love never changes. His word is enough. His grace is sufficient. His reign is righteous. And his yoke is easy. And his burden is light. I wish I could describe him to you. He's indescribable. He's incomprehensible. He's invincible. He's irresistible. Well, you can't get him out of your mind. get him off of your hand. You can't outlive him, and you can't live without him. Well, the Pharisees couldn't stand him, but they found out they couldn't stop him. Pilate couldn't find any fault in him. Herod couldn't kill him. Death couldn't handle him, and the grave couldn't hold him. Yeah! That's my king. That's my king.
In Matthew chapter 11, Jesus says, "Are you tired, worn out, burnt out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me and you'll learn to live freely and lightly." Now, this is the invitation which God offers us all, no matter where we've come from or what we've done. An invitation to new life with an awesome king and yet closest friend at the same time. Now, this is one thing that people don't often get. Jesus was enormously critical of religion, possibly one of the most outspoken critics of religion in history. He was an enormous critic of structured, lifeless religion, the kind of thing that you might have seen as representing the Christian faith and rejected for being irrelevant. He spent a lot of time laying into religious leaders of the day for not being genuine and not being authentic. Faith in Jesus is not about what the media tells you that Christianity is about, but instead about a simple relationship with a God who creates, loves, redeems, and sticks with us through life. Being a Christian changes you from the inside out, makes you more loving, more secure, more generous, and so many more things too. This transformation is worth exploring because normal amateur people like you and me, like Ben, who we heard from earlier, and like so many people in this room, they have experienced it. And it has true, pure, and life-changing power. It's not a dead thing kept supported by institutions and religion, but rather it's a thing that is really living and breathing today in the lives of the people around you. Now, at the heart of what Game On is about, this monthly community that we launched today, it's about asking you to look again and see Christianity for what it really is. Not the stuffy ritual and odd traditions that you might have seen and rejected. And in doing so, you've rejected the hidden treasure within. To do so would be similar to rejecting sport because of the actions of people like Lance Armstrong or Ben Johnson or Sepp Blatter. When you clear away the hot air and the nonsense and see Christianity for what it really is, it is most definitely worth a second look. And here we have an opportunity to take that second look.